There was only one imaginable reason for Winston Coleman to be there. Sandy's throat tightened as the burning cross, the frightened faces, and the angry voice of Jimmy Jeter flooded back in a moment of dread. Sandy shored up his bike beneath him as Winston's window opened, a cloud of cigarette smoke pouring out. Sandy heard the sound of an electric guitar slicing through a whiskey and honey-soaked voice on the radio. "Hey, Rivers, got your cousin here," Winston said, slapping the steering wheel. "There's a man who lives a life of danger," he sang along, then turned down the radio and continued. "Life of danger, huh, Rivers? I don't know, man. Had you figured different." Winston tapped his fingers against the steering wheel. After 5 years as a paperboy, Winston had risen to district manager, responsible for all the carriers in his district. Now it was his job to respond to customer complaints, make sure his carriers paid their bills on time each week, and to keep his stable of boys on bikes in line. Dangling from Winston's rearview mirror was a plastic baby key Mary Kay Bedford had given him recently on his 19th birthday. Dashboard lights cast a green and amber glow across the smooth, taut skin of his face as he gazed toward the forest, rolled a hand over a chrome gearshift knob, and shoved it into neutral. "Lighting crosses in people's yards. Setting fires. That's bad business," Winston said with a measured shake of his head. "Wrong kind of people get called. Then I get one. I got to stop what I'm doing, come out here, and take care of it." "Yes, sir." "That's bad business, boy." Winston reached across his knees for a cardboard carton, raised a pint of orange juice to his lips, and drew a long, cold swig. Sandy had a sudden urge to be back in the swamp, back with the opossums, safe from Sullivan's uncertain aim, far from the reach of Winston's headlights burning through the forest. His face flushed with heat. "Hell's the matter with me?" he wondered. He thought of the night, a few weeks before, when Winston dropped by his house to let him know F-45 was his. It was a high point of Sandy's life, a quietly hoped-for miracle. Half the boys in the county were on the waiting list for a paper route. Largely on the strength of Mary Kay's counsel, it seemed, Winston had chosen Sandy. "He'll be all right," Winston told Sandy's dad. "I wouldn't worry about him." Sandy wanted to live up to the billing, especially in Winston's eyes. Now he felt as though his bones had been ground from his soul. "We're out here to do 2 things," Winston said. "Get the papers delivered and get the hell home. Anything else is wasted time. Might as well stay in bed." He took a final swig of orange juice and tossed the empty carton over his shoulder. Into a nest of faded papers and crumpled coffee cups scattered across the back seat. "I don't want to hear about any more damn nonsense like what happened this morning," Winston added, jamming the Mustang into reverse. Sandy's fingers were blackened by newsprint. Another 10 minutes he'd be headed home. He imagined Winston's taillights heading back over the ridge and out of sight, the sound of the radio, and finally the engine fading into the calm. "Yes, sir." "All right, then. You'll be seeing a new carrier taking over Wade Eckert's papers. Well, not a new carrier exactly, just new to this route." "Yes, sir," Sandy repeated, taken aback. "When's he start?" "Right around 5 o'clock, Winston said. "Tomorrow morning."